This is F121. This is the mainstream racing series. This is race number 8 of 23. I'm Zeb Bauer. Glad you're with us tonight for this mid-season battle here in Barcelona, Spain. And it is mid-season. We are here now in the middle third, the intermediate sector of our third mainstream racing series season. You're welcome everyone to one of the, I want to call, most exciting leagues of F1 20 and 21. And let's see what this race will bring us here tonight. We have sadly a rather small grid. We have only, I think, 13 drivers. That is not what we are used from MRS. That could maybe be because of the track, because Spain is a rather difficult track, especially with this new game that has not been affecting everyone in a positive way, I want to call it, at least not for every driver style. So here we are with only 13 drivers. That is not so good. I expect already by now that we will have less than 10 finishers then in the race. But okay, what is important? What is important? One thing that catches my eye is the fact that Peter Simpson, Zemo Simpson, is not here tonight. This is a big thing. He is one of the biggest names on my note sheet for today. What I wanted to talk about, I have a look at the Discord server and background chats. Zemo did not call it off. He did not say he's not here tonight, but yeah, you see that he isn't here. First one on the track was Jeppe Nielsen. That is another big name, but one thing after the next. So yes, Zemo was checked in. For some reason he didn't make it. Haven't read any information about why or why not. Yeah, anyway, couldn't read it up quick enough to know what happened to him, why he's not here. Anyway, we are here now on board with Jeppe Nielsen. So, first story, Peter Simpson, the reigning champion of Season 2, who had a really, really bad start of this season. He is still pointless after 7 races. That is really a huge thing. Cannot speak it out big enough. Well, we see Jeppe Nielsen here in the middle sector, and the next turn combination is one of the most difficult here on this track, and he is struggling a bit. And then this blind right-hander, turn 10 it is, and short, medium ERS phase afterwards. This is a rebuilt turn. Sadly, Codemasters did not put in the latest version, and this is the second place of this track where you can easily lose your car. The rear is very light there, and then the technical last few turns, last sector, and first hot lap is a 1:16.4. That is already a pretty good time, and I could imagine that this time might hold up until the very end. First drivers all stay behind him, stay a lot behind him, 1.5 seconds at least. So yeah, Monster, Jeppe Nielsen, the next name on my note sheet, because he had a really blistering start of his season. He turned to MIS, he came into the league just a few weeks ago, to the start of the league actually. And he had a pretty good start, but then for some reason had some not so good results lately. Especially the DNF in Canada had a big effect, eventually leading to he lost the overall standings lead. He lost it by 1 point, one single point, to Thomas Walsh, who has not set a competitive lap time yet. Let's have a look what this man is doing. This is Grimo, Mark Goodman. And yeah, Jeppe Nielsen is intending to bounce back. Let's see how that will work for him. Another thing I want to talk about, hey, Grimo, Mark Goodman, he is a second behind Monster, but he is in P2. Great result for Grimo Goodman. Yeah, Grimo Goodman is the next big topic, because we have had 4 races lately with 4 different race winners, and he was one of them. Mark Goodman winning the Austrian Grand Prix, I think it was 2 weeks ago. Last week we saw Dominic Walsh win the Canadian Grand Prix. Then we saw Andrew Mont winning in Australia. And another week before, so a month ago, it was Jeppe Nielsen, Monster, winning the last Grand Prix before. That was, I think, Baku. And so maybe we will have the 5th different winner in 5th consecutive week. That would be really huge, and all that leads us into a very dense and exciting overall standings. Driver Championship is very open. We see Thomas Walsh leading by 1 point, and second Jeppe Nielsen 1 point behind Tom Walsh, and then in third Dominic Walsh, the younger brother of Tom Walsh, with 6 points behind his brother, and in fourth is Dylan Chapman with 59 points, meaning 11 points. So the top 4 are 11 points apart. That is not really much. And Dylan Chapman is here, Tom Walsh, Jeppe Nielsen. All those 4 are active for tonight. So it could potentially mean that those 4 will increase the gap of the top-notch group. That could potentially happen. In 5th, P5, then Mark Goodman, and 6 is Iggy Lai. They are pretty close together as well. But there are, of course, a lot of midfield battles then, and it's hard to tell what's happening there. And on the constructors sheet, we see the Mercedes leading Dominic Walsh and Dylan Chapman doing some pretty good work together, leading by almost 50 points over the Red Bulls of Jeppe Nielsen and Vincent Hartmans, but it's, I think, only Jeppe Nielsen active tonight for the Austrian team. So what else is important? We see a handful of drivers who opted to race with a black helmet or black helmet tonight for showing respect for a good friend of one of our drivers that passed away sadly lately. It is Semixna Jack Rognan. He has black and a little bit of colors in his helmet, and we will have a look now who else opted to go with blacked out helmets in order to honor his sadly passed away friends. It is, here we go, Jeppe Nielsen. Very much, a lot of black on his helmet. Here we see Thomas Walsh doing the same. Grimo will be visible in a moment. Chappers, City and Chapman did so too. And Dominic Walsh did so too. Black shiny helmet for him. Blake Gary is on racing with a black helmet. And FX Chef, that is Gregory Mortier. So we once through the field. Almost every one of those 13 boys we have showed the salute. And yeah. Now let's focus on this qualifying. I think all important things are worked off that I had on my note sheet. And we have us now approximately half the quality time already in the books. Approximately 8 minutes left. We have seen Jeppe Nielsen improving his hot lap time even a little bit further. Dylan Chapman is the only one who is able to stay within a second of gap. While Gregory Mortier is still running yet another hot lap, but not a big improvement for him. 3.5 seconds his gap to the pole. Not so sure if he will run this lap to the end. No, he won't. No, he won't. That was the final mistake in the second place where I mentioned where the car is light and easy to lose, and that just happened to our chef. But he's still running. He keeps running. Interesting. So he has a lot of gasoline with him. He is Jeppe Nielsen on an outlap again. Interesting quality rhythm he has. He's just running and running and running. He uses this quality as something like a training session maybe, even though he probably wouldn't even have to run again. I would like to think that his gap is big enough that no one can catch him anymore, especially with our last season's pole king, Peter Simpson, not being active tonight. Here we see Michael Caruso. He is coming back to the pits. Mark Goodman. He has had already 2 laps plus the out lap plus the in lap, makes it 4 on this set of softs. So this could potentially be a problem on tire degradation and tire duration for him in the race then. So he will return to the pits here, I'm pretty sure. Let's have a look what Jeppe Nielsen is doing already in the last sector. Will he run it to the end? If he does so, he will not have another shot. Yes. So this is potentially already the final shot of Jeppe Nielsen, and he improved the lap time again, just barely, but he pushed it under the 1:16 mark. And that gets Dylan Chapman very, very close to being a second behind Nielsen. So this quali does not deliver a lot of tension or excitement. This is very clear where, who will be the pole set then in the end. Gary has crashed. There he is. There was a Alpine in the walls. That was spot 1 that I said where you can easily lose the car, and Gary showed us that this is really happening. So he is finished. He is finished maximally in P10, and if I was him, I would hope that Andrew Mond or maybe Nevis Ikic or maybe Gregory Mokci could improve their each lap time enough that I am standing in P11, because then Blake Gary, our little hatchling, would have 3 tire options for the race. So Jeppe Nielsen is maybe already finished. Maybe he will have another enough of time to run again in case he wants. On his final shot for sure is this man, Dylan Chapman. Oh no, he had already had a shot, and he crawled closer to Nielsen, only 4/10 the gap anymore. But he will be finished now. This is it. This is maximally P2 for Dylan Chapman, and this man, Jack Rognian, pushing up into 3rd, 8.5/10 behind. Mika Caruso still on his final hot lap. Out lap at least. Let's have a look at Iggy Lai. He is on his final hot lap but not improving. We see a bit of strange timings for some drivers here. So Iggy Lai will be finished a lot earlier than the clock is finished. Same goes then for Thomas Walsh, who is a little bit improving his times after sector 1. Let's see what he'll do here in sector 2. Our championship leader here for the moment, Thomas Walsh. Ooh, there is a crash car. This is wreckage. Can only be Rognian. Can only be Jack Rognian. But Thomas Walsh is still improving. Thomas Walsh almost, or even more than half a second. Let's sit on board onto his shoulder here in the final sector. The sector with the many slow and close turns. He is maybe a little bit impeded there from Grimo. This is only good enough. Only P3 for Thomas Walsh. And now let's have a look. Who else is on a hot lap? Grimo, who was just ahead of Walsh, not improving. Then we see Caruso at the end of sector 2 here. But he is not improving his lap time. What is Grimo doing? Coming to the end of sector 2. Grimo, not improvement. No improvement for him. What is Mike Taylor doing? The second Aston Martin, who has just started his hot lap, so he is not really improving. Dominic Walsh is only in 9th. What's happening there? Dom Walsh only in 9th. Our winner from Canada does not look so competitive here. End of sector 2, no improvements for him, so this is probably it for him. And what does Nevis Ikic do? The last question mark, maybe. And Nevis Ikic, no improvements, 12th for him. So we are actually finished. One last blink here at Mike Taylor. He's the only one who could potentially have an improvement. Dominic Walsh only 10th now, because Andrew Mond has pushed himself up into 6th, and Mike Taylor is finished in 8th. So a bit of Some slight surprises. Dylan Chapman is surprisingly strong. And Dominic Walsh has surprised me a bit with being only in P10. But okay, this is just the quali. Let's see how things will look on the long-term pace then, on the long runs. So this is our starting grid. Sadly, a tiny starting grid for Spain. Jeppe Nielsen in the pole, second, then Dylan Chapman completing the front row. Second starting row is Thomas Walsh and Jack Rognan. Fifth, Mikko Caruso. Six, Andrew Mann. Seven is Mark Goodman. P8 goes to Mike Taylor. P10, Iggy Lai. 10th, Dominic Walsh. P11, free tire options for those three boys: Blake Gary, Nevis Ikic 12th, and FX chef Gregory Mortier completing our small grid. So our drivers have half a minute of time to consider the tire strategies and change some minor little tweaks on their setup. And the weather will be fine, fair weather, at least for the start, and I will be back with you shortly. So here we are in our installation lab 0 of 33. Let's have a look about the tires, but this is only a pretty quickly answered question because top 10 have to start on the used set from quali. P11, then Blake Gary, Fresh Softs 12, Nevis Ikic and Gregory Mortier both start on mediums. Yeah, the tire strategy, is it a one or is it a two stop? It's really hard to tell. On the old game, it definitely was a one stop. You had to somehow manage to start on mediums and then medium to hards if there wasn't a advantageous safety car phase sometime midway through the race. But no one can tell about that, of course. And in the new game, it is not so clear, not so sure what the choice. I suppose I +6 because, of course, from the championship arrival for Jeppe Nielsen already out after just a few hundred meters sailing for him, and I am getting a notification from my PlayStation that my internet connection isn't very good. I am not sure what this is about because my connection is my connection tells me on the laptop that everything is fine. So I hope this will clear itself rather soon. Right now I think you only see a blue screen. I hope this will be solved soon. I'm not sure what I can do without cutting off my broadcast. So I will try to solve this. Just a moment, please. Yeah, well, my internet connection, my PlayStation doesn't show me any sign that connection is bad. I am really not sure what the reason is. Yeah, Northside, thanks for your chat box message. I am aware of this, but I am not sure how to solve this. At least not without cutting off the broadcast. I can tell you that you didn't miss anything big on track. Yeah, if I'm doing some quick speed check of my internet connection, everything looks fine. So I am really not aware what my PlayStation is troubled about. So I am afraid I tried everything that I can without without stopping the broadcast. Yeah, I'm just unsure how to solve this situation. Mike Taylor is out. I can tell you, Mike Taylor is out. And if we have as a safety car, I will try something else. It is just yellow. No safety car yet. No, there is no safety car. Once you need it, it doesn't come. And Rocknan is out too. Jack Rocknan has given up, it seems. Jack Rocknan is just out of this race. He retired in the pit lane. So it is a strange Wednesday, no Simo. Rocknan retiring in the pit lane for, I think, no reason. Just 13 drivers in here, plus me having a blue screen error. I am not sure what this means. I will have to try something else, but this will sadly cut the broadcast short, or cut it off. I hope you guys will rejoin me when I am back online in a moment.